Hey all, Russ RVerTV, welcome, check it out. We're just getting into Port Townsend, Washington. We're way up here in the Pacific Northwest. First stop, Fort Worden and the Lighthouse out here, right on the water. Overcast, not bad weather. Whoa! Look at these guys. Well, hello there. Here's the Port Townsend Welcoming Committee with antlers. Yeah, kind of zigzagging through these back streets here to get over to the fort. Once we explore the lighthouse, we'll head back downtown. I got an RV site right on the water. This is such a pretty area out here. All right, sit back, get ready. The journey starts now. Welcome to Fort Worden. I was here once before. It is a huge old facility, old military. I believe it was officer training. A lot of these buildings are still original. I believe they rent them out now. And hopefully, I'm going to drive past it first. There's a museum up here. It wasn't open last time I was here. Of course, the last time I was up here, nothing was open. Mowing the grass. Everything's so uniform. The houses, the spacing, the big porches on them. And I believe this last one is the museum, and yes, I see signs. Heck yeah. All right. Well, cool. There's the big bay right there, straight across. Let's go up to the lighthouse first. We'll double back to the museum here, then head downtown. Might even walk the streets if I have time. Should have time. That pier off to the right, I think that's like a big gift shop type thing out here. There is camping, dry camping, and hookups. Looks like you can rent like kayaks and stuff. We are as far out as you wanna, or you can get, not wanna, can. Way up here, Port Townsend, out at the end of it. All the islands are surrounding here. Puget Sound's off to the right. There's the campground on the left. I looked, it was sold out. I couldn't get in it. I tried. Those folks are riding electric bikes. I got an electric bike in the back of the van here. Speaking of electric, they're great folks. I see their bikes everywhere I go. Well, it's been a game changer for me to carry their bike. We get to see so much more when I park the van. All right, enough of that. I spot the lighthouse out there. It's an old timer. All these beaches were part of defense for the United States during the World Wars. Yesterday we seen that last video was Fort Flagler. Now we're here at Fort Worden. Then across the bay here is Fort Casey. And they were all interconnected way back in the, these are around 1900 or somewhere in those time frames. All right, the big question, can I park, please? Yes. Look at this, I get parking. And it looks long enough if I squeeze the front end up there tight. Oh, heck yeah. All right, we're in. Fits like a glove, doesn't it? The van is 25 feet long. I just measured it the other day. Well, it's like 24 feet and 10 inches, but we're gonna round it up. 25 feet. We can't get inside the lighthouse, but we can walk around it. Point Wilson Lighthouse, U.S. Coast Guard. I believe they rent out the buildings here. This is all owned by the state, I believe. I know the Fort Worden part is. Well, looks like, what is that, radar or something? Let's take a walk. Old driftwood everywhere. We've seen a lot of it, haven't we? Especially along the Pacific Ocean. That was cool. Little flowers. Ooh, here you go. Part of the bay. Puget Sound, I think they call it. Looks like a few folks out there enjoying their time here. It's a little chilly being along the water here with the overcast skies. This sand is soft, hard to walk in. Your shoes want to slide in it. Well, I think we can get clear around to the front of the lighthouse. We'll try. History. Stuff goes back forever, centuries. All these shorelines and waterways been used forever. Outside looks kind of rough shape. Of course, with the weather here, I mean, we're here calm. But this wall of rocks, a breakwater here, waves come crashing over it. They get some big storms. A lot of weather comes in through here. Hi, how are you guys?
Well, thanks for asking. Have a wonderful day.
Kind of a workout in the sand. My goodness. The size of these things. They were all placed here though, Corps engineers probably. Big chunks of concrete underneath. There is Point Wilson Lighthouse. I think it's still working too. I mean, for the age of it, I think a paint job would clean it up pretty good. What do we have here? The marker, National Historic Place, 1970, and yeah, Washington State Parks. So it's run by the parks. I see a little opening in the rocks. Maybe we get a little better view of the bay here. There's a few people out here. You can hike around. There's trails and stuff. Wear you out in the soft sand for sure. Another look. I see a light going up in it. Yeah, look at them guys. They're walking the rocks. To be young again, huh? Wonder how many lives it saved. You don't never hear that number. All the ships that seen the light. It saved them. Ooh! I see a snow-capped mountain. Which one would that be? I have to look on the phone here. I think Mount Baker. There's a glacial peak, and far to the north, Mount Baker. But I'm not very sure. But that is huge. So that might be Mount Baker. Wind's really picking up. Salty air. Looks like tide's out a little. Pretty place though. A lot of ships come through here. That's San Juan Island, Lopez Island, Anacortes is up to the north of us. Woodby Island, I think, is the other one. I think that's one straight across. All kinds of islands. There's your Kodak moment of the video. Good shot of the lighthouse, the buildings, lighthouse keeper's home probably. And it's turning. There's a light on in it, I think. Hard to tell with the clouds. Yeah, it's lit. Cool. very limited hours to get up to the top, but you can. Well, cool. I think they rent out that building there. A lot of these lighthouses do, but you know, they need the revenue probably for the upkeep. Can't blame them. Well, I'm not crawling on them rocks like them young folks. I'd never get out of it. There's old ruins from the batteries, the gun placements and all that up through the beaches here. Even got flowers. Look at this. Yellow and white ones. And little purple. Perfect. Well, what do you say? We're gonna head over to that museum before they close. Find that RV park. I still got enough strength in me. We're gonna take a walk downtown to the old buildings. Heck yeah. See a lot of those tsunami warning signs with the sirens. Makes me think of that Beachcomber John's museum we seen back in Forks. All the stuff he has picked up through the years from, and a lot of it is from tsunamis, sending it clear across the oceans. From Japan and all those countries over there. Pretty incredible. Pepsi can goes that far, huh? So the plan after tonight is to take the ferry across or to Whidbey Island, see that Fort Casey, so we'll see all three forts hopefully, and then spend tomorrow night up in Anacortes. That's the plan anyway, see if it happens. That guy just must be leaving the campground, huh? Alright, well, head up here to the museum. Big old boat anchor there, ship anchor. That ain't no boat, that's a ship. And I think I better park down here somewhere. This looks good as any. I'll just walk up to the museum. Got a little shade here. How about that? Repair buildings for troops. I think this is all officer training. 1932 is those pictures. Even got a band out here, so they'd march this field. This would have been full of soldiers, military. Field still here. Always makes you wonder when you visit these places, when you look at it. Who was here before you? Caught in a triangle. Yep, see there's Fort Worden, Fort Flagler, and Fort Casey. That ship come in there and they didn't have a chance. So we seen Fort Flagler last video. Here's Worden. And that Fort Casey's across the bay here. Or sound. It's something, isn't it? Target shooting in the bay. For officers and gentlemen, they get the houses. Showing pictures of the museum we're going in. So the commander had the best view of the place right there. That was his house. Look at that. That sign says open. We're going in. Hi.
Welcome to the commanding officer's quarters.
Thank you.
This whole row of houses, Officers Row, was built in 1904 when the enlisted men were still sleeping in tents out in the rain.
Oh.
It was a very fancy place in its day.
Yeah.
And so over from 1904 to 1953, there were lots of commanders that came and went here, and they all commanded the 3 forts in the triangle. Have we got more people?
No, I heard
with
the
you?
flag flapping.
Oh, yeah. And that was the fashion of the day. They got painted because with coal-burning fireplaces, the tin turned black over time. So this would have been a formal space where the other officers would have been required to make formal calls on their commander at certain times in the year. And you can kind of get the feel for the Army formality of the day.
Oh, I bet.
In the
Oh,
dining room,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Look at that
Whoever
table.
got asked to dinner here, it would have been very formal, and everyone would have been seated according to rank. As you walk around, note all the trim work in the house, what's built in. It's that old growth Douglas fir that used to cover the whole Pacific Northwest. You can't buy at any price nowadays.
No.
The old pocket doors.
Yeah, and the height of them.
Yeah, And the light fixtures were all put in 1904, even though there was no power here yet. They knew it was coming. They were building a power plant on the other side of the fort, and in 1907 the power came on.
Even got a little menu there.
Yes, and you have to wonder how the servants ever pulled something like that off. That's a really fancy dinner. Or the kitchen that you'll see in a minute.
Yeah, that was their job, huh?
Yeah, and imagine laundering the uniforms and dresses like that. That would have been a huge amount of work. That over there would have been the commander's home office. He had an office across the parade ground too, but he could do business there. That amazing oak furniture is out of the old Port Townsend Customs House. Because Port Townsend was a huge, important customs import-export place up until the point when steam engines started driving ships instead of wind. When it was all wind-driven, Port Townsend thought it was going to be the New York of the West Coast, because the wind-driven ships couldn't get around the corner to Seattle without losing their wind, so everything came and went from Port Townsend.
Oh.
And that's why the downtown got
Look at
built
this.
so substantially. And then when the steam engine driven ships started coming, they would drive right by Port Townsend and go straight to Seattle and dock with no wind at all. And then the railroad decided not to come, and Port Townsend's fates went downhill. And it was partially saved by the fact that Fort Worden was here.
What a nice lady. Very informative. All volunteers. A lot of people volunteer for this kind of stuff. You know that they're from down south too. Come up here to stay cool. But all these rooms, there's 3 stories here. The servants lived way up top. And this was the commander's house. That table downstairs, wasn't that immaculate the way it's set up? So this has 2 bathrooms. Look at that old tub. People would die to have that now. I remember one of those when I was a kid. Oh, goodness. Wow. Then these radiators on the wall from the boiler, that was their heat. They probably burned oil or kerosene. Big headboards, all the fancy windows and curtains, rugs. This was all modern back in those days. Nice little rocking chair in there, huh? Stare out the window at the bay. Watch, what'd she say, wind-powered sail ships. They couldn't make it past here. Not all the way down to Seattle. And it looks like the dressing room for ladies, maybe. I think we can get up top back here. One more flight of steps. Must be all the commanding officers here, maybe. Yeah, they're going way back. What'd she say? The officers lived in the houses and the troops lived in tents. Imagine being in a tent in this climate, especially in the winter. Now that's an old couch. Or chaise lounge, whatever they called them. Round windows. Wood railings on the stairways. It feels military though, even though it's a home. Very fancy home. Definitely feels military. But up here's where the servants lived. According to her. Sewing room. So they worked on all the uniforms up here probably. Oh wow, a record of the names of the servants that worked here. Very cool. Here's the rooms they stayed in. Wow. That's a picture that was in that storyboard. There's all the houses, same field. You got the band and all the troops. And what's this? Oh, a little selfie room. So you can take your own picture. They even got a ring light right against that backdrop. Wow. Never seen anything like that. That's cool. Notice how these old buildings have the big high ceilings in them too. They don't build homes like this anymore. They build cracker boxes compared to these things. This is true old wood. All the hardwood floors, everything. You couldn't buy this stuff anymore.
They had a pretty good life in this house, don't you think?
Wow.
Especially for the times they were in. It was a sought after command, you can see why. Plus nobody was shooting at you.
So well maintained too.
It's really the only building in Fort Worden that hasn't been updated, you know? The rest of them, because they're in use, which is good.
They rent them like rentals, don't they?
They have.
Well, she said the commander would sit out here and watch the troops train, perform, whatever, I guess. Think of all the people that were here before us, but these are all rentals. You can rent these places out like Airbnbs from the state park system. Then they could sit over here on this side, probably watch the ships go by. Let's go over and check out the water. See a little view area. And probably that commander stood right here and looked out across the water, across Puget Sound, waiting for the ships to go by. using a brand new GoPro called the Mission 1. It's a great camera. I'm still working on the audio. I gotta get a different mic for it. But the image quality is perfect on it. Look at this, even got a little picnic table here. Well, there's a boat. Little one. There's that mountain. That's gotta be Mount Baker. We're just gonna say it is. Okay, well, let's head to town. What do you think? Heck yeah. Okay, finally caught the museum. Very cool. Well, they have quite a few for rent through here. Must park out back though. What a great little vacation. See, you don't need an RV. You can come stay. Just bring your car, bring the dog. Have a great little visit right up here in this beautiful Port Townsend. That one's all brick. Wow. Even got tennis courts. Alright, I'm just gonna follow Google Maps right down to my RV park. It's Point Hudson RV Park. And if I get the site I picked online, we are right on the water, as far, well, I'll say as close as we can get to the water. As far out on their little peninsula as I could get. Hopefully, they'll give me that site. For more information on my travels, be sure to check out my website, RVerTV.tv. There you sign up for free newsletter, putting one out once a month now. Got all kinds of cool stuff. Free downloadable puzzles pertaining to travel. Pictures, articles, blogs about previous travels, future travels, all that kind of stuff. Anything pertaining to RV or TV. And we got a merch shop. Armchair Traveler Series mugs, hats, shirts, and the very famous anymore. The heck yeah, mugs, hats, and shirts. Oh my goodness, they make such great gifts. Once again, it's RVerTV.tv, which helps support the channel and future videos just like this one, exploring this gorgeous place of Port Townsend, Washington. And I appreciate it very much. These homes in here look like they come out of a magazine. Just manicured, got gardens, flowers. Really green to get all the water that you want. I guess before I got up in this area, they've had huge amounts of rain. Of course, being this close to the ocean and coast, you'll get it. This is almost like driving through a magazine, isn't it? With pretty pictures. Oh, I see the bay. Now we're dropping down. I bet the value of these homes here are way up. Probably a very sought after place. That one looks fairly new, doesn't it? Kind of a windy road. I think I gotta make a left here. Yep. I'm just following the maps. Enjoying the scenic views. These houses. Alright, we're getting close. I gotta make a left. All these streets are named as presidents' names. Here it is. Jefferson Street. We're on Monroe Street. Wow, what's that thing? And here's home for the night. Yay. We're gonna stay in that boat right there in the dry dock now. This is a marina and an RV park. Point Hudson. Pretty narrow street. That guy's coming out. We're going in. Yeah, it looks like we check in here. All right. Let me get checked in. And we'll head out. And then I'm going to walk downtown. Still got enough time. I'll rest up a little bit and then we're going to take a walk downtown. And I got the site. Yay. This is cool. It's a few blocks to get downtown, but I'm gonna walk. I need the exercise, get out of the van for a while. She said there's a lot of construction going on. They're replacing roofs on these buildings. But this RV park, it's a lot of sites. You can see them there on the left. They go all the way down along the water. Oh, they're doing abatement. The guys are all suited up. That's asbestos. They're removing asbestos roofing. I know what that is. That is huge money. Looks like they're doing them all. You know, asbestos, that was a common thing to use. Okay. You talking about a good site? We should be right next to this white van on the left. Yay. Here's home for the night, right on the water, huh? Hopefully we see a big ship or two. There's a restaurant inside that building right there. 30 amp power. Deep water marker right here. Really, really windy. I bet the winds blow every day here. There's the ferry going over to the, would that be Whidbey Island, I think. So the dock for the ferry should be back over here. Cool. Wow, these campsites here are even better. They're even closer. Well, online you don't know. But if you get a chance, check out this Port Hudson RV Park. I mean, where else you gonna camp like this? You're not. I mean, it's an old campground. Who cares? You only got 30 amps. That's fine. It ain't that hot here. But you're right on the water. Let's take a little walk. Actually, it's gonna be a big walk. I took about an hour break. Got the rest of the van set up. Sat and relaxed a little bit. Here's your second Kodak moment for Port Townsend. Picture perfect little harbor, calm water. Even with the wind, it's calm in here, isn't it? I think some of that cloud cover is burning off too. And every boat owner fixes their boat. Oh man, that is just part of owning one. And up here, the salt, oh my goodness, really is hard on the engine, the props, all of it. That's a lot of money sitting there. This is for skateboards. It's a skate park. Now, I would break every bone in my butt in one of them things. Holy moly. Never had nothing like that when I was a kid. We just skated down the streets. Didn't even have a skateboard, just had roller skates. City of Port Townsend. That's cool. Good for the kids, huh? Totem pole. Very colorful, isn't it? Well, I'm just gonna walk down one side of the town, and this is Water Street. Perfect name, right on the water. Walk down one side, come back the other. But these buildings down here, if you look at them online, they date back into the early 1800s. Historic City Hall. Wow. That is old. There it is. Still being used. Now that's a testament to good construction, isn't it? Oh yeah. Still have the rounded windows, all of it. Big mural on that building. All the sidewalks are brick. Hotel. Wow. What a clean area too. The Monarch Hotel Art Gallery. Let's peek inside.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, you're welcome.
I wouldn't bring your walker in for but you wanna come in, we can unleash your,
That was something. Even going up the stairways, they had art for sale. That breeze feels good. Another gallery. So this is a artsy type town, huh? Little downtown park. You can just sit out, park your bike, relax, enjoy the water, watch the sailboats out there. Lots of pretty flowers. Everything's so colorful. You can sit outside, get something to eat. I mean, look at the front of this store. Another like art gallery and antiques. Bookstore. Well, that's a heck of a building. My goodness. That is huge. Gotta go over there and check that out. Here's the plaques. 1890 Mount Baker Block Building. That was the telephone company. Wow, 1902. Just like yesterday. Here's a cafe. Just a pretty, pretty town, isn't it? Very artsy. And they even got stairs that go down. Businesses down below. But it's closed off. Under the town. Looks like a fountain statue. Very cool. The stairs go up through there. I'm kind of about to walk out though. I think I'm going to head back towards the RV park. Port Townsend, hidden history. Yeah. They got history everywhere here. This is amazing. What a cute town. Very colorful. Arts, crafts, restaurants, very old buildings. This is like going back in time. Even earlier when I said like driving through a magazine. Like a very picture-filled magazine. That's a lot of work and money to display like this. I bet the rents are high. They must get people here to buy though. Dark green building with that purple flower. And they got all the wind spinners. I'll be darned. Called the Green Eye Shade. That wind's really picking up. 1892, Port Townsend City Hall. Memorial honoring a veteran here. Honoring Marvin Glenn Shields, a local here, huh? Very cool. Oh, that's a hotel. They even painted the fire hydrants here. There's a map of the area. I mean, I barely touched it. There is building after building, street after street. You could really spend a day or two down here going through it all, probably. With all these beautiful flowers, too. Port Hudson Marina History. They have a U.S. Customs office over where I'm staying, in one of the buildings. So they must get international boats in here. Puget Sound Express. Looks like they're just getting in for the day. That'd be kind of cool, take a ride in that thing, huh? Guys hosing it off. Looks like they're done for the day. All right, to the RV park we go. Seeing all these boats is tempting. I had boats for years. Once in a while I think about getting one, and then I wake up and say, no way! I'll stick with the van and an RV. Quite a little journey today, hasn't it been? Explored around Fort Worden, got to see the big old lighthouse. Then we went and checked out that commander's home. Well, it's a museum now. That was impressive. All that fine furniture and everything in there. I think the van looks happy, doesn't it? It says, thanks, I'm at the waterfront. All right, well, hopefully we can catch a ferry in the morning to get over to the other island. Then I got a reservation tomorrow up in Anacortes. We're going to explore that town next. In this great state of Washington. Oh, there's the sailboat. Just missed it. Well, you know the saying, journey never ends. Talk soon.